Hey guys, and welcome to the video. So this week on the This Morning TV program in the UK, breakfast show, they had a doctor named Natasha Larmie. She calls herself the Fat Doctor, and she was claiming that obesity is not a health risk and that we shouldn't actually try to lose weight. And for me, this is a crazy thing to say, as I thought it was just accepted that obesity is a problem in the UK and the world, and we should do all we can to tackle the problem. However, she thinks differently. And in this video, I'd like to go over the points Dr. Larmie, the Fat Doctor, said and why she may have said them. And if you stick around to the end, I'll be giving away my free food structure guide where you can learn to lose weight without counting points, calories, and fasting and things like that. So let's get into the video. So first of all, I just want to highlight the fact that this is not a personal attack on Dr. Larmie. I do not know her as a person, so I cannot comment on that. All I do know is that she is a doctor, and I know that to be a doctor, you have to be intelligent. So all those people calling her an idiot, that is wrong. However, this goes to show, or goes to highlight the fact that intelligence does not equal good advice. So basically, I want to go over what she said and why she may have this opinion. So just to fill you in, the general idea of the TV program was that someone said about including more fat characters on children's TV. And they brought her on to speak about obesity and that it wasn't actually a problem and you shouldn't actually try and lose weight, which people are disagreeing with. And I just want to point out that, yeah, I do not disagree with fat shaming, and that's it's okay to be obese, but at the same time you shouldn't stop trying to lose weight and better yourself, because it has obvious implications for yourself and people around you, including increasing your quality of life, which reflects on other people as well. If you die early, then that affects everyone around you, your family, your friends, and your loved ones. So this is to help. It's not to judge or say it's wrong. The evidence shows that obesity is a bad thing. So we want to be able to help as many people not be obese, right? And I find that a lot of people these days, because they are failing in their pursuit of losing weight, they start to just accept the fact that they are obese and try to find evidence against that to say that it's okay. Because just they've failed so many times, they feel that they can't actually lose weight. So the first thing that Dr. Natasha Larmie said was that weight loss is not good for our health, and most evidence shows that weight loss does not lead to better health.
This idea that weight loss is a good thing. Actually, most of the evidence out there shows that weight loss is actually not good for our health.
And this just isn't true. But I know why she said it. So we have something called the obesity paradox. And the obesity paradox is basically talking about BMI. So just to quickly go into BMI, BMI is what we call a population level indicator of how healthy people are. So it's a way to look at a group of people and say, oh, there's X number of people that are in this category, and so there's X number of people that could be at risk of some health problem. It's not very good to identify people individually, because individually BMI doesn't really show whether you're healthy or not because of different things. So for example, you could have a really high BMI, which could indicate in a population level that you might be falling into a bad category. However, it depends where the weight is on your body. It depends how that weight is, or what that weight is. So for example, you could have an Olympic athlete or any kind of athlete that has a very high muscle mass, makes them heavier for their size, and it could push them into a category that showed that they were obese or at risk of some disease, when obviously they are an athlete and very healthy. But when we look at this at a population level, when we take a big group of people, it gives an average of, are these people healthy or are they aren't? Because generally, BMI, if a big group of people's BMI is high, then it shows that they possibly have some of the symptoms of unhealthiness, okay? So BMI is split into underweight, normal weight, overweight, and class 1, 2, and 3 obesity. And you'd expect that the higher end to be like worse off and the lower end to be better off. However, the paradox is the fact that people in the normal category are slightly less healthier than the people in the overweight category and the beginning of the class 1 obesity. And so Dr. Larmie is suggesting that being overweight is okay because of this and being obese is okay because of this. However, remember, like as we go through the obesity scale, it gets worse and worse, and you do have a lot of increased mortality, so higher chance of dying and diseases. And so how do we answer this question? Why do these studies show this? So first of all, these kind of studies are what we call correlation studies. And these are non-experimental studies. This is where we just link two factors together. So for example, we say people within this BMI range have a bigger chance of dying, and we don't link to the actual specific reasons why. So when we actually look into the reasons, it starts to kind of uncover and unravel this obesity paradox and kind of puts things straight a little bit. So let me just throw some suggestions out there, some ideas of what the evidence has kind of suggested of why the obesity paradox might exist. So why overweight people could have a slightly less chance of dying than normal weight people. So one idea is that people with a very severe disease could lose a lot of weight and push them into the normal BMI category. And so when they died, they would have been noted down as normal BMI. However, they didn't die because of having normal BMI and having like good health. They died because of the disease, and it pushed them into the category. So this is the problem with correlation studies. We don't know why they died. And also smokers, right? So smokers often tend to be of a normal BMI because it blunts appetite, but they die earlier, right? We know that, and they have a normal BMI. So it kind of skews the figures. And so we have to take this into account when we are looking at studies. And scientists have tried to tease this out of the results by not only measuring BMI, but also hips to waist ratio. And when you see this extra data put into the studies, it tends to put things back into alignment. So people with overweight into the obese categories have that higher risk of dying. So it puts things back into alignment and takes out that those anomalies from people that maybe have a disease or are smoking and things like that, which skew the results and make it look like being overweight is better than being a normal weight. And another point she made was that if you go on a diet, after 5 years, you are quite likely to be worse off when you started.
In fact, if you want to pretty much guarantee that you're going to be heavier 5 years from now, the best thing that you can do is go on a diet, because that's actually the greatest predictor of weight gain, is going on a diet. The weight loss industry is going to try and convince you that I'm wrong, because they don't want to acknowledge the fact that actually most people, when they go on a diet, actually end up gaining weight over 5 years. So in the first year, absolutely, you can lose weight, but within 5 years, you tend to gain it back again.
I actually agree on this point, and I made a little video about it up there, so you can watch that. But I don't think that means you shouldn't try and lose weight because of the health benefits. And actually, when you find the right solution for you, you can lose weight, and you can lose weight permanently. And we all know in recent times as well, backed up by studies, that having COVID-19 with being overweight and a higher BMI increased your chance of dying from the disease. So it's really, really important to actually be healthier and to lose weight because of these reasons. And next she talks about accepting the health you're born into.
And the second thing that we have to appreciate is that health is a privilege that you're born into. It is not an achievement from losing weight by diet and exercise. And I'm sorry, I just have to explain that. So basically what all of the evidence shows is that when you're born into an affluent home, when you're born white, when you're born male, when you're born able-bodied, when you're born cisgender or heterosexual, all of those things mean that you are more privileged, and your health will automatically be better, irrespective of your weight. And that's unfortunately difficult for people like Steve, because of course, Steve likes to blame the individual and say that weight loss is something that we can do. But we actually have all the data.
If you're born into a family that's maybe poorer, or you're overweight as a child, just accept that and you're going to be overweight forever. And for me, that's a silly thing to say, because that's like saying if you're born into a family that has no money, you can't become an entrepreneur and become rich, or earn money in another way like that. You can't better yourself. Of course you can. Like, that is a very disempowering statement, and just accepting things is very silly. You can change the way you are. You can become healthier, just finding the right way. And of course, living a longer life is going to be amazing for you, right? So why sit back and let yourself be unhealthy and live an unhappy life, right? Where you have diseases and often could possibly die earlier. Next, she says about if you weigh someone, you can't tell if someone is unhealthy just by their weight. And that is, yeah, kind of true, but that's what the BMI is for. It's for indicating, oh, should we look at this person a little bit more to see if they are unhealthy? And generally, yes, if you are heavier, you will be more unhealthy and you will have more of these risks. But we can combine that, like I said before, with the hip to waist ratio. And if you carry more fat around your stomach, that is an even bigger correlation to these metabolic diseases that you can get. And she also pointed out that 30% of people in the normal BMI category are unhealthy, and 50% of people in the overweight category are healthy.
You cannot tell whether a person is healthy just by weighing them and measuring their body mass index. There are lots of studies that show, in fact, there's one study that showed that 50% of people with a BMI of over 25 are actually healthy, and 30% of people who have got a BMI under 25 are not healthy.
And like I said before, this can be attributed to other factors like smoking or diseases and things like that. And also, I just wanted to point out that on her website, she is in the class 3 obesity range. So her BMI is over 40, which is highly correlated with very negative health effects. And we only have to look at the costs of obesity to the health service. So in the UK, on the NHS, we spend over £12 billion per year. And if it wasn't true, then we could spend this money on other services like the education system or police, things like that. Okay, right, it makes sense. And she goes on to say that she will stake her career on her beliefs, and that you do not need to lose weight, and you should not lose weight if you are obese. And this just like goes to show that the delusion, the amount of delusion that there is in some parts of society around certain things. So I just want to go into like why she thinks this, and like why could she think this? Why, like, what is affecting her beliefs? So first off, as I said before, she herself, Dr. Larmie, is obese. She has a BMI of 40 odd, it says on her website, I checked. And I've seen this before. If you have a problem, there's two ways to get rid of the problem. Number one, solve the problem. Number two, get rid of the problem, like get rid of the belief that the problem is a problem, okay? So, of course, if you failed on getting rid of the problem, if you get rid of the belief that the problem is a problem, then that solves the problem as well for you. And I think this is the route that she has gone down. This doesn't seem like logical to everyone watching her, but for Natasha, this is a huge weight off her mind. No pun intended there. But if she has struggled with her weight for her whole life, just taking away the belief that that's a problem like reduces this pressure and stress. She doesn't have to live her life every day struggling with this problem and trying to fix it. It's gone. She can concentrate on other things. So it solves a problem for her believing this. What is a concern is giving her a platform to spread this message that is like entirely categorically false. The evidence does not show that obesity is fine. It does not show that you don't need to lose weight. And I'm all for the media giving balanced opinions, but this is an opinion of, let's say, like 0.01% of the population. I'm kind of guessing there, versus 99.99%, which believe that obesity is a problem. So giving a platform for this is just fueling the idea of something that is completely untrue. And in the weight loss world, we have enough problems as well with all the rubbish out there without spreading more lies and more issues that create more problems. So just really wanted to make this video to highlight those things. And again, like, I'm here to help people. It's not an attack on Dr. Larmie. It's just the fact that it just makes me feel so sad that people out there are struggling so much that they have to believe that it's not actually a problem. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below, what do you think? Like, do you believe that obesity is a problem? You may not want to know. Like, share and comment as always, and I will see you in the next video.